And it is rolling. It is wonderful to see everyone this evening. We've got some good training lined up here. I'm going to show you something a little bit different tonight that they've activated inside the control panel. So it's going to be pretty neat to see. It's actually going to be a video. I did a video of myself doing an app on an S2 Android phone, doing the logo and everything. So I'm looking forward to showing you that. For those of you who are new, and we've always, every single week, we've got a ton of new people that come in, and it's always exciting to have you, and we hope that you join us each and every Wednesday. We always have a great time in our training sessions just to tell you how everything will go, because we do have so many new people in tonight. We're going to go through the training in about the last 10 minutes or so. We open it up. There's a question box, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure what it looks like on your side because I've never seen it on that side, but you should be able to type in questions, and I'll see the answers. Hey, how you doing, Ethan? And you'll, just like Ethan just typed in the question box, hello, Carrie. And so you'll be able to type in questions, and I'll answer you, and we'll go through that. But if you will hold your questions to the end, sometimes during the webinar, I will answer them. Now, let me also say this is not a tech call. We save the tech calls for the first Wednesday of the month. We have our technicians on board, and as we're going, that's the one time as we're going through the training, we kind of open it up, and it's kind of you guys can type the questions in, and our technicians and our programmers are right there to be able to answer you. On Wednesday night, we want to focus fully on training. We want to dedicate the entire time that we're on here to training to make sure that all the information gets out correctly. Now, for those of you who are new that have not seen the information I put out last night, that webinar will be going up. It's about a 30-minute webinar, but we'll be getting into all that. But my name is Kerry Miller, and I come to you live each and every Wednesday from our IAW studios in Northeast Texas. We're kind of spread out all over the country. We've got one in Arkansas, one in Alabama, one in Florida. And so our group's kind of spread out. But we're here to take care of you and make sure you get everything that you need. And our training comes from Texas, and I'm proud to be a Texan because I love that good old Texas barbecue. But the first thing I'm going to get into right off the bat, for those of you who were on the training last night, I want to make sure that I cover real quick. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because we had a special webinar last night of about 30 minutes, 30 to 40 minutes. And I wanted you to know that everything I told you last night has happened. I told you that there would be a special place in the Reseller Resource Center, and it says a special webinar event. And I want you to see it right here. It's actually turned out to be the third tab for whatever reason. So you'll go to that third tab, and inside this tab, the invitations have been uploaded. There's a Word doc and a PDF doc if you have the full version of the PDF that you can go in and actually make changes to PDF docs. The Word doc can be changed. Okay, this is the invitation that you will be passing out over the next 7 to 9 days to invite people to our special online webinar. Up here at the top, it is in red. You can either put your company logo up there or just type in your company information. And then there's one more red spot right here. It says, we at company name would like to cordially invite you to attend a special online webinar. And you can print these off and pass them out. Excuse me. I also told you I've been in the studios recording all day, so I'm just about a little bit hoarse. Also, I used my personal URL that I use for webinars and special things that I send out. IsYourBusinessMobileReady.com. This is set up specifically for this event so that it is totally white label. I can do this for every person on here's clients, and they will feel that it is absolutely personal for them. So I just want to show you real quick. So those are done, okay? And those can be downloaded right here. And they're in there. It's a special webinar section in the Reseller Resource Center. Now, I've also got the page up for them to register, isyourbusinessmobileready.com. All they have to do is go to that URL, and there is a web page, okay, a special web page that I designed today. It's got all the information on here. Register here for your webinar. Do not be left behind. Mobile Marketing for Today's Small Business. It shows them the times here. Then there's a link. It says, please click on the link below to register for the webinar. They will click on that link, and that will open up a page, okay, for the GoToWebinar. Now, there's nothing on here. I just put a little logo up here at top so that they can put two and two together. Yeah, I'm at the right place. Is your business mobile ready webinar. They have an opportunity to drop down here, and they can select one of the 4 times. They can go in and register for every single one of them if they want to. So, but that's all been done. Now, one thing I'm going to do, someone asked yesterday, and I'm not sure what time of the day tomorrow, but someone asked yesterday if they could email. I am going to put up a video page, okay, tomorrow. It'll be isyourbusinessmobileready.com/mail, M-A-I-L. And as soon as I do that, I'll email that out to everyone. It'll look just like this, with the exception of right in here there will be a video of a personal introduction, just like the letter that I showed you. Okay, it's going to come right off of the letter. It's going to tell them what's going on, and you will be able to send that out to people who you're not able to go out and personally contact and pass out the flyer to. But let me say again, okay, do not spam that URL. That's my personal URL. It's in my name. It's not in any other company name. It's in my personal name. Do not spam that URL. If I get one iota that someone spammed it, I will come after you with a cleaver, okay? Do not spam that URL, because we want to be able to use this URL for many, many, many events. So if you're going to send it out sparingly, but there will be a video page that is set up specifically for those who have some folks that they want to send an email to. And they'll be able to link up and go right there to the video page and sign up. For those that you cannot personally get in front of, the best way to introduce people to this webinar is go out, take those flyers, make you a couple of hundred of them, and go out every day and pass out a ton of them. We're going to open this up. We're expecting probably somewhere around 750 to probably 1,500 people to this webinar. We've already discussed it. We will open it up to as many people as show up and register. So if we have 1,000 people register, we'll make sure that there's 1,000 seats available. I don't know if you're familiar with GoToMeeting, but it varies depending on what you do with it. So, but we will make sure that there are enough seats available for those that register. This is for your clients. This has been put together for your clients, specifically for your clients. Those that are on the fence, those that you've been trying to talk to, those that are busy. That's why we set up 4 different dates: Saturday, March the 9th at 3, Saturday, March the 9th at 8, Sunday, March the 10th at 3, and Sunday, March the 10th at 8. I can tell you I will probably not do anything on that Thursday and Friday beforehand, so that my voice will be able to stand up to those 4 events. That's 4 solid hours of doing webinars. But they just click here once again on this page, okay? And I put down here what we will cover: why does your business need to be mobile, how to use mobile marketing to increase business, how to market with SMS text messaging, QR code marketing, reputation management, do you know what your customers are saying about your business, and much, much more. We look forward to seeing you on the webinar. Once again, they have the opportunity to see the click here to register button. Okay, so this is ready to go. I should start seeing tomorrow. You will probably print these off when we get off the training tonight, and we should see people starting to sign up tomorrow. One question I want to answer real quick. I do not have any way of tracking your specific clients. Okay? Now, someone that comes to me and says, hey, I'd like to go out and invite 10,000 people to this thing. Would you do one specifically for me? Then I would know that, hey, all of these people that's on this webinar belongs to you. You have to make sure that you keep up with who you signed up and make sure you go back and follow up. One of the things that was mentioned last night would be a great idea. Take your phone with you and make sure that you get them to register on your phone in your control panel. That way you can send them out a text message reminder and also an email reminder. I have it set up in the system where they'll be reminded right up to the webinar. They'll have the emails go out right up to the webinar, and there will be a follow-up email after the webinar that asks them to reach out and talk to you, those who invited them to the webinar. Any questions real quick? I'm not going to harp on this long. Any questions on this webinar real quick, and then once we get done with it, we're done. Going once. What if I already have a webinar already linked on my site? This does not apply to me. Sure it does. This is going to be a live webinar. These are going to be live webinars. This has nothing to do with the recorded webinars that you have. These will be live, full. We will open them up for questions and answers live. So, I mean, if you don't want to invite them, that's fine, but this is opened up. These are going to be full live. All 4 of them will be live, and it's going to really have a big punch. We're expecting probably 1,000 people. Thank you, Joe. Anybody else? Real quick. It's going to be about 45 minutes to 50 minutes, and we'll open the last 10 minutes up for questions. 45 to 50 minutes, the last 10 minutes for questions. And it could go, you know, depending on how it goes, it could go an hour to an hour and 10. I don't like going past an hour and 10 minutes on anything. But 45 to 50 minutes, 10 minutes with questions. Anybody else? Okay, since there's no more questions, we will shut this off. The information has been uploaded. We'll start seeing you download it and start making this happen. I know that we had a full house last night on here on the special webinar that we did, and a lot of people are very excited about this, and as am I. I worked till about 4 o'clock this morning on the slides for this, so I'm very excited about it. So let me go in here and do this. Let me go in here and do this. Okay, and we're going to get right on into our training. Real quick, before I go any further, there's a couple of things we always invite you to do, especially you folks that are new. Go and join our YouTube channel at youtube.com/InstantAppWizard. The reason we like you to do that, all of our training videos are uploaded there, and special videos that I work on are uploaded there. You will get an email in your email box if you go in and register at youtube.com/InstantAppWizard and become a member of that site, and you will get the let me take that bud out of my ear. You will get the emails as soon as they're uploaded, and so you get a first look before you get to I lost my train of thought there. Before I actually post it on an email. And like I said, our Facebook page, facebook.com/InstantAppWizard. Bill, you'll need to send that in to the Help Center. Send that email address into the Help Center, and they can go in and update your email in the system. I actually email from within the system, so if you're not in there, they have to update you from there. Okay, I want to show you something real quick, and this is pretty cool. I actually did a video on it, and I will talk. There's no voiceover on the video. I'm going to talk you through it as I go through it here. Let me pull up the video. I hope everybody can see this when I start it. It's actually on YouTube, so if you were on the YouTube channel, a member of the YouTube channel, you saw this uploaded just not too long ago, because I've just finished doing it here just a little bit ago. What we've done is you can literally go in now in any platform, Android phone, iPad, iPhone, any mobile device, and literally build a demo right there on the spot. Now, what I did in this video, and you'll see, is I went in and took a picture of a business card, uploaded it as a logo, and built a quick demo app in 3 or 4 minutes on my S2 Android phone. Now, the great thing is, and I know that they've got Firefox for S2 for Android, but I used the Google browser that was on Android, and it worked fine. Everything worked great. Now, the bad part on it is when you're trying to do it on a phone like that, it's a little bit hard to see. But if you're in a pinch and you've got somebody fired up, and the reason we did this is if you got somebody fired up, you can literally sit there right in front of them and build their app. So let me go in here, and I'm going to start this video, and I'm going to walk through it. Here's my phone. I've got it underneath my camera right here on the desk. And that little business card there is a business card from Kia in Rockwall, Southwest Kia Rockwall. And all I'm going to do is go over and I'm going to line it up, and I'm going to take a picture of that business card. Now, make sure your flash is on, because I'm sure you can see the shadows in there. The flash takes the shadows out. It's very hard to get away from the shadows. Now, I'm going to go to the browser. I'm going to go to InstantAppWizard.com to the sign-in page. I'm going to go ahead and then sign in to the control panel right here from Instant App Wizard. Now I'm logged in. Now you can see it's just your normal control panel, and on the phone there you can see me squeeze it out, and so that I can see, and I'm going to start building my app. I'm going to put my information in there just like you would if you go in and create a brand new app. I think that Duke said Google Chrome. I think that is Google Chrome in the Android systems. I'm not sure. I just use it. That's what I say. Yeah, you guys ask me technical questions, man, and if I answer you, it's probably not the truth. I know a little bit, but I don't know much. But you can see that I built the app there. And now I'm fixing to go in. And I'm going to upload the logo. And I'm taking the image right off of my phone. Go to my gallery. I'm uploading the image of that business card. You can see the image of the business card. I flipped it around there. Now listen, this isn't like something you would probably sell them. You would actually go in and redo all this. But you can see, I think it took me 2.5, 3 minutes. And that picture is a little bit clearer than that. It's just a little bit fuzzy on that little video camera I had. But as you can see, I literally went in there and built a mobile demo app in about 3 minutes, sitting right here on my desk with my phone underneath a camera. So if you're in a spot and they turn this on this way, we've had some people say, hey, boy, I'd like to be able to build a demo app out there real quick if I could. Is there any way to do that? So we've turned on those, whatever it was they turned on, the technology to make that happen. And it works on iPhones, Android phones, all your smartphones and your smart pads and that stuff. And it works very, very, very well. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put this out. It's in a process, but what we're going to do here is we are creating, and one thing that, just like the webinar we're fixing to do, we want to make sure that you have all the sales tools possible to go out and make your sales. We're creating some lead generation software that's going to blow your mind. They're in the process of working on it now. I know they worked on it all day yesterday, and they worked on it all day today. We've got some really, really, really neat stuff that's going to be coming out that's going to set you up with leads, and leads that you know if they're mobile ready or not, if they have Facebook or not, if they have Twitter accounts. It's going to search all the social medias, and so that's going to be coming here very soon, within the next few weeks, as soon as they get the programming done on it. But let me see here. Roger's showing he's offline. Tonight we're going to get a little deeper in sales, and as you know, the last couple of weeks we've been talking about passive sales. And with passive sales, that's pretty much you're working your Facebook pages, your Twitter pages, your LinkedIn's, your Pinterest. You're working all the social medias. You're literally going out, just like you're doing for this webinar that we're getting ready to have. You're going out, you're going to, Roger said he's having problems on his side, but he's back on now. Okay, great, Raj. I'm going to go ahead and turn you on your microphone, Roger. And so today we're going to talk a little bit about aggressive sales. Raj, can you turn your speakers down just a little bit? And we're going to talk. That'll work, buddy. And we're going to talk about aggressive sales. Now I've asked Roger to come on. Roger is semi-passive aggressive. So what I want to talk about tonight is that passive-aggressive sales method. Now, Roger's got tons of deals working. He hits the streets every day. Now, if you're not into aggressive methods meaning that you physically have to go out, you physically have to get in front of people, and you physically have to talk to them. If you're uncomfortable doing that, then you'll be strictly a passive salesman, because you will never, ever go out and talk to anyone. I know a lot of salesmen who can sit on a phone and cold call all day long. But when they have to go out and physically get in front of someone, cold, walking in the door and talking to them, they can't do it. They freeze up, they're nervous, they can't get out of the car, they just have a hard problem doing it. And it's just basic cold calling. We've got some extremes in this company, and I was talking to someone the other day about this. We've got guys who literally will go out, this is what we have, this is what I'm going to show you. If you don't want it, fine. If you do want it, fine. If you don't want it, you're bad. Okay? Or they'll walk out there and they'll say, hey, this is what I have, this is what you're going to pay for it. And that's pretty much their close. They're very hard closers, they're hard-nosed, they're extremely aggressive. I brought Roger on tonight because we're going to talk about passive-aggressive, where Roger's pretty easygoing guy. He's the fella that if you haven't heard me talk about, he literally walks in with a QR code that he laminated in his pocket, and he goes in and he makes friends, and he kind of sells like I do. You go in shooting the breeze for about 15, 20, 30 minutes, get to know the person, know how many kids they got, what lake they fish at, where they eat their barbecue, and, you know, then you start selling them. And so Roger, I brought him on tonight, and what I'm going to do is I want Roger to go through his typical day. Now, he told me earlier he was going to say that he wakes up at 6, he goes back and takes a nap at 9 after his wife fixes him breakfast, and then he gets back up at noon, eats lunch, goes back and takes a nap, and then he decides to do something. But I know that's not true, Raj. So, but Roger, if you would share with us your typical day. For example, I think you said you had 4 things going today. Share us what your typical day is, how you walk in and personally approach these folks, what your conversation is like, and basically what you do.
Okay, well, basically, I normally get up about 5:30 because everybody's asleep. I'm able to concentrate a little bit. What I normally do is I pick an area where I'm going to go and say, okay, I'm going to hit these businesses. And what I do, I'll go and say, okay, I'll hit all hair salons in this area. I'll hit all restaurants in this area. And then what I do is I plan my day. So when I drive out of my driveway, I have a sense of where I'm going. And it kind of gives me a little perspective of where I'm going, the type of people in the area. So it really, if it's a high revenue area or low income area, I have a lot. I leave the house, I have a goal, and my goal is to talk to at least 15 people. Now, I don't know if anybody I think everybody knows who Babe Ruth is. And if you think about it, when you hear Babe Ruth, what do you think about?
Home runs.
Okay. Now, do you know that he also owned for striking out the most? And sometimes you get in a rut, you go out there and you'll talk to 2 or 3 people, they say no, and then all of a sudden you start swinging a bat, and all of a sudden you come across 3 or 4 people. Saturday I went out, I was Thursday and Friday I went out, and it was like, I was striking out, I wasn't really in the groove, and all of a sudden Saturday morning I got up, I said I'm just going to go to this area, and I've been working that area now since Saturday, and it looks like I'm pulling out 4 deals tomorrow out of that area. And basically, it's cold calling is not as bad as what people think. Basically, you're just giving information. So, give you an example. I walked into this one ski shop, and I told the guy, "Hey, my name is Roger. I have something that help you get more referrals from your existing clients." He said, okay, come in. I said, all I need is 3 to 4 minutes of your time. If you're not happy, I'll say goodbye and I'll say thank you. So I get back there, ask him his name. He said his name is Wayne. And so I'm saying, Wayne, this is this. I'm showing him the app. I take out my QR code. That's the first thing I do is I show him the QR code and I'll say, have you seen this? And he says, yes, but how does it really work? Then I go into my demonstration. Well, to make a long story short, it looks like I'm writing him up tomorrow. First of all, his name wasn't Wayne. His name was Kenny. And he said to me, I have about 20 salespeople that have come in here, and you're the only one that I have spent this much time. And he said, the reason I'm spending the time with you, because you have something that we are looking for. So when you're going into these business, people are looking for this. They have questions. They see it. So when you're out there talking to people, don't feel that, oh my God, they're going to hate me for coming. You will not believe how many people thank me for coming in. And give you another story. As I'm walking out the door, one of his customers comes in, and he says to his customers, Chris, he says, hey, this is Roger. You got to see what he has. And the guy looks at me and says, I'm going to be gone for a month, call my secretary, and make an appointment before I leave. Oh, listen. So I went to see him yesterday. I called the secretary. I said, Chris wants to see me. She said, okay. She set the appointment. I went in, and I did the same routine. I took out my little card. I said, have you seen this? He goes, yes. I don't understand it. And then when I show him the demo app or the app that I have in my phone, I give him some examples of some of the business I've signed up. And it looks like I'm signing him up on Tuesday. Funny story. I said, oh, by the way, this is a garage guy that I did that came to fix my garage door. It was broken, and I looked at his truck, and I said to him, by the way, Rick, you don't have any QR codes on your truck. He goes, yeah, I need to get them. Well, guess what? He has them on there now, Carrie. And as I'm telling him the story about the garage guy, he says, oh, I know that guy. He fixes all my garage doors for all my offices. Can you believe that?
So basically what I hear, Raj, is you go out, you set your schedule, you're obviously unafraid to walk in and do a cold call, and I know that a lot of people are, but you know what you're doing every day, and if you have a bad day, you don't let that stop you.
No, I just go on, and we really have a very good one of our agents in California by the name of Duke, and sometimes he's very, very good. And sometimes I'll call him, even myself, I need help. Sometimes I'll call, hey, Duke, I'm not in the groove. And Duke is very, very nice, and he's very, very good, and he'll give me inspiration. This is what this is all about our business, helping everybody.
I'm not sure what happened, but
People, I'm sorry?
I lost you for about 10 seconds there, Raj.
Okay, all I'm doing is going out there. I figure if I can talk to 10 people and get one good lead from it, and then it works. But I don't stop there. When I go into a business, I wrote up a guy yesterday, and it was an auto body shop. Well, guess what? I went all around those little businesses. I said, hey, let me show you what I did for this guy. Oh, you did this for him? Oh, I know him. We take our cars with him. I go right around to where his business is, and I say, oh, by the way, look what we did for Juan. Look what we did for Bob. Look what we did for Jim. And everybody knows everybody, and everybody wants to be part of the group. If you're not using that, you should. Now, another thing is sometimes on our prices, people get fear. Oh, my God, I hope they don't ask the price. You're afraid to ask for the money. You don't ask for the money, you're not going to get the sale. And when they ask me, okay, Roger, this sounds very good. Well, how much is this? And this is what I normally say. Well, my competition is charging $1,295, $800, $700. But let me tell you what we have. And I give them my prices. And I said, isn't that fair? And they shake their head. They always agree with me because I give them a positive, and I show them what they could pay and what I can do for them. And then also when I show them the mobile app, I always give a demonstration, and so I tell them, this is really class, and we take care of you. Now, I'm going to take care of your app, you take care of your business, you have any changes, and we have no contract. And the reason I tell them, Terry, we have no contract, I said, we have no contract. If you don't like me or don't like our service, you're not tied up to me. But so what I do, I get up, I plan my schedule, I go out there, and I always make it a point to at least talk to 15 people before I come home. And out of those, you're going to find 2 or 3 people that say, yeah, I'm interested. And then when you go into these calls, don't be afraid to ask who makes a decision, because there's a lot of gatekeepers who say, well, who are you? I'll walk in, I say, who makes a decision here for your marketing, or who makes a decision for this? And if you ask for help, I'll walk in and say, what is your name? Oh, my name is Sally. Hey, Sally, I need your help. Can you help me? When you ask people to help, Carrie, they all want to help. And she said, yeah, who's the person who makes a decision? Oh, you need to see Bob, and he's here on Thursdays. Thank you. Now I come back, and I come back on Thursday and said, hi, Sally, is Bob in? Yeah, he's in. Bob comes out and says, hey, Bob, I was here to see you last week. I missed you, but here I just got some information I just want to share with you. Do you have 2 to 3 minutes of your time? And most people say yes. But it's really another thing. You want to be aggressive, but you also want to make it fun. If you can make these people smile, you got the sale. That's really the key to the business. But it all starts with a QR code, going in and introducing myself, and also I listen. And I tell, if you go in and these people think you're going to be there for a half hour, I always say, Bob, I just need 2 or 3 minutes of your time to give you a quick little demo. And that's all I do.
Now, I hope everybody, because I get asked probably 50 times a week, you know, and Roger and I, we've become friends. I like talking to Roger. We actually call and talk sometimes just about nothing but nothing. And the reason I like Roger is because I love his sales methods. I love him as a person too, but I love this guy's sales methods. And one thing that Roger does is I like is he always makes sure that they want to listen to what he has to say. Now, when we go into this passive aggressive, and Roger he's about right in the middle. He gains their respect right off the bat, and he's going to make sure that they've got time to listen to him. And I hope you noticed what he said. And he said it several times a month. I mean, several times a month. Several times during this conversation. He always shows them a demo app. But more importantly, he shows them apps of other apps that he's built in that area. Building credibility is extremely important. You have to build that credibility in your area. When you're going out, for example, with this webinar that we're going to be doing, if you've built apps in that area, you need to bring that up to those folks. You need to make sure that they understand that you're there because you're working with other people in the area. I've used that 100 times. You know, I was working with Jim down the street, or I was working over with John at the pizza parlor, or do you know Bobby up at the bank? Well, yeah, I know him. Well, now you've got a personal connection. I mean, here he is in Phoenix, and I know Phoenix is a very large place. He's talking to a guy that just happens to be using the same overhead door guy that Roger signed up. That connection, when you make that connection with people, it turns the sale completely around because they trust you. If they don't trust you, they're not going to buy from you. And that's one thing I like about what Raj does is he goes in. Something else he does, and I hope you picked up on it, I'm only going to take 2 or 3 minutes of your time. Why does he say that? Because he knows that he can demo that app with his QR code, and I always get tickled about that QR code in the pocket, okay? He literally is bringing something out of his pocket. Now, that's where the aggressiveness comes in. He is going to pull something out of his pocket and ask them directly, do you know what this is? Most everybody has seen a QR code, okay? You've got to be bold enough. You've got to I'll just leave it at that. You've got to be bold enough to be able to say, hey, do you know what this is? Because really, you think about it, that could be offensive. But he closes a lot of deals with that little QR code because people say, yeah, I know what it is because they've seen it. They've probably seen it all over town. But I don't know how it works. As soon as they say that, he's got them for 30 or 45 minutes. He's got them for however long he wants them. Because now they want to know and they want to understand and they want him to demonstrate what that little piece of black and white cube does. And he's going to be able to scan that. And now he's really going to be able to take them in the app. Hey, let me show you how to tap to call. Hey, let me show you about us. Hey, let me show you about this. Then he can start talking to them about the marketing platform. He goes in, he opens the door, and this is, and very passively, you know, hey, I want to take 2 or 3 minutes of your time. Do you have that? Absolutely not. Now, Roger, let me ask you, when they say absolutely not, how do you turn that? If you walked in my office and I said, buddy, I don't have a single second for you, what would you say? Are you there, Raj? I think he's having some connection problems. Okay, I lost him there. Hopefully he'll be back because I'd like to hear what he says on that. We've got some salesmen that would absolutely just dig all over that, okay? And trust me, one of our top salesmen in the company is he knows nothing about passive. He is strictly aggressive, but that's his nature. That's how he sells. That's how he's always sold. I mean, this guy sold magazines door to door to make a living. So you can imagine what that would do. Roger, he just texted me. Did you lose your connection on the microphone, Raj? If someone tells him no, he stops it right there. He says, I say thank you. Okay, go ahead and unmute yourself, Raj. He says, thank you very much for your time, and he leaves, and he's done. But what did he do? Now the next time he stops by there, maybe that guy's having a bad day, okay? But now you're still going to have to be aggressive because he's just turned you away. Here's where most salesmen, I I'll show you turned on here. Let me see. I've got your green over here. Let me do this, Roger, real quick. Let me see if that'll help. Can you talk now, Roger?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me go back and answer that question. When people say I'm not interested, whatever, you know what I say? Oh, by the way, thank you very much for your time. Have a nice day. And I always leave with a positive response, because if I'm working around his business and I'm signing a business around him and he asks somebody about who got him the QR code and they say, Roger, I still have an open door. So I don't say, well, thank you, whatever. I just say, hey, thank you very much. Thank you for your time. And I'll say, have a nice day. I'm very positive, and it really does work. Or I say this sometimes, depending on the situation. Hey, Bob, thank you very much. Do you mind if I stop by here in a couple of months and give you some updates of what's going on with the mobile industry? And you know what they all say? Yeah, that'll be fine. So I come back, I put it on my calendar, I'll put down here, go see Bob again in 2 months. So I make a note that he said no. So the second time I come in, say, hey, Bob, how are you? Hey, listen, I want to let you know, look what they did on the mobile app. That's all I do.
It don't get much simpler than that. And I know we have a lot of guys, and I get a lot of calls. This isn't working for me. What do I do? And I know that I did a training probably 3 months ago. It's probably maybe been longer than that now, where I talked about specifically when Roger first did the QR code in the pocket. Make you a QR code, put lamination on it. That is his key into the business. After he did that, I made me a QR code on my printer, I laminated it, and I carry it everywhere I go. I do demos after demos after demos. And let me tell you a great thing, and I just started doing this recently. Every time you go to a restaurant, they always put a coaster on the table. I started laying my QR code out on the table. And you'd be amazed at how many people stop by and say, what is that? Because they all know what the coasters look like.
Great idea.
So I just lay the QR code out on the table, and people ask about that. And I love scanning it out. I'm a QR code scan freak. I love scanning it and showing them what it does and taking it right to the app, and you can give a quick demo. Make sure don't you just use laminate for your QR codes, Roger? That's what I got. I got laminate.
Yeah. I went down to Office Max, and they just did it for like 99 cents. And one of the most important things when you're making these calls is this: don't be a super salesman. Just be yourself. Just be you. And it's like if you go to a good movie and you go share it with friends, you're doing the same thing you do with cold calling anyway. That's all I'm doing with the mobile app. Hey, have you seen this QR code? And you'd be surprised what people will say. And it works. But you make it fun, make it easy, and don't get depressed if the guy says, I'm not interested. You just say, hey, thank you very much. Have a great day. And you feel good about it. You know, I really have never had anybody really say, I hate you for coming into my location. Most people are pretty nice about it. Hey, thank you, I'm not interested, and we'll go on. And you'd be surprised. I've already signed up people who told me no because I went back the second time.
And I'm going to tell you why that happens, and this is the most important thing. I've put salesmen out of my office many times because I'm busy, or my head hurts, or it's just not a good time for me to sit down and talk to anyone. But if they say, hey, can I set a follow-up, or do you mind if I stop by another time? I've never told anybody no. Even on my worst day, I've never said no, don't ever come back. And I don't tell people not to call me because I may need what they have then. I just didn't need it today. And that's very, very, very important. Joseph, are you talking about the window clings themselves that he makes the QR codes for the windows, or are you talking about what he puts on his cards? Okay, the window clings, you can get those. You can have those made at a print shop. You can actually order those online. If you'll just type in window cling in Google, you can have those printed off online. You can also buy that. I know Staples here where I live carries window cling, and you just put it right in your printer and prints it off, and you peel it off, and it's not actually, it doesn't actually stick. It's static, I think. I'm not sure how that works.
Hey, Kerry,
yeah.
I go to, what happens is I print out my code, and I take it down to the one that you just said. Staples, and I put it on the yellow sticky, and they print it, they laminate it on that, and then I cut it out, and then I take it with me to the store, and when I get there, I show them, and I put it in the owner's hand, and I said, come here, go to the door with me a minute. Where would you put this on your door where you would get more responses on it? The guy says, well, if I get the app, I want to put it right here. You've already made the sale.
There you go. That's excellent.
You get them. Now, also what I do sometimes is I give them my phone. Your phones are real personal. You don't want people touching it. But when I put my phone in their hand and they can touch the buttons themselves and see how it works, it changes the whole presentation.
Excellent idea. Excellent idea. I cannot believe it.
I make it fun. I really do make it fun. And some days I bat 0, and some days I walk out with 4 deals.
I love what you said about Babe Ruth. Not only was he the home run king, he was the strikeout king. We've got about 10 minutes left here, and I want to open up for a couple of questions while I've got Roger on, because I know a lot of people say, hey, can I talk to Roger? I try not to forward too many people to Roger because he's trying to run a business. And Steve Combs asked Roger, what kind of demo comes up when you scan the QR code in your pocket to prospects?
What I do is I have about 40 apps that I've sold on my phone, and I have so many different ones. So if I'm going into a hair salon, I'll say, oh, by the way, we did this for Sally Hair Salon down the street, and I'll click on it, and I actually give them true demos of actually existing clients that I have. So they're seeing the real thing, and I can click on their video, or I can click about us. So that's the demo I actually do. I used to, demos do work. That's how I started the business. But once you get a few clients and you have those on your phone that you can actually show, it works really, really good. So that's what I use right now.
So you just basically download the app on your phone, and you have the icon on your phone, and you can just pull up pretty much whatever niche market you're working.
Where I'm at. Now, also, if a guy says, well, I like this, but will it work for me? At that point, I will say, let me do this. Let me get our designers do a demo app for you, and I'll be back tomorrow and give you a better idea what it'll look for you. And that works also. So either one is the best. But when I have live people in there that are actually real apps, it makes a big difference.
Okay. Thank you, Ethan. Let's see. We've got thanks for your insight and confidence boost, Roger. I still have a hard time meeting the decision makers, but it has to get easier. Thanks for your time. Roger, let me ask you about that on the decision makers, and I get that question a lot. Obviously, you talked about the gatekeepers. You make good friends with the gatekeeper, and they pretty much let you in and tell you when they're there. How hard do you find it to get to the decision makers, to the person that's actually going to write you the check?
It's very simple. You got to ask. If you walk in, you got the guy who's there, who's the manager or whatever, he just manages the office. If you go and say, hey, I got some. And when I walk into a business, I said, my name is Roger with the mobile web apps. Who's the person in charge that kind of puts it all together for the marketing or the owner? He said, oh, you got to see Bob. And I said, when is Bob in? He said, oh, he'll be here between 2 and 3 on Wednesday. And then what I do, I think the secret to that is follow through. Find out who makes a decision. If they're not there, say, when is he there? They'll tell you that. And then I go back. Like I went back today. I went into an auto body shop, and I walked in, and Lee told me, he said, the person that makes the decisions is Mike, and he's here on Wednesdays. Well, guess what? I made a note, and guess what? I went in today, And I walked in. I said, "Is Mike available?" And the secretary said, "Who's calling?" I said, "I was in here, and they told me to see Mike." And so Mike comes out, and I introduced myself. The funny story is, the first guy I saw was the owner, and Mike was the decision maker, and I'm writing him up tomorrow.
Awesome. And that's a good point. And let me just highlight the lingo that he used. He goes back to see them, and he tells them, now here, we're talking passive aggressive. So he takes charge of that conversation. I was told to speak to Mike. Well, what's the secretary going to say? Well, I don't care who told you, you're not going to talk to him. She doesn't know who told him he's got to speak to Mike. And Mike's door may be open, and Mike may come out right there on the spot. "Hey, how you doing? How can I help you?" But if you go in there and say, "Well, you know, is Mike here, blah, blah, blah," you know, take charge of that conversation again. You know, "I was told to see Mike. That's who I'm here to see." And that's a great line there. And thank you for that question. Anybody else there? What other question do we have here? We've got about 6 minutes or so. Now's your opportunity. We don't get Roger on the line often, not as often as we like to. For any new folks that are on, if you'd like to just type in the question box.
And by the way, don't walk in there with a briefcase. You know, I'm walking in now with my little tablet because I get some videos on it, and I walk in with my phone, and then I have like a little case that holds some papers, very thin, not very aggressive, big looking. You know, you don't want to look like an attorney or anybody coming in to do any stuff. You just want to walk in and say, "Hey, I'm the average Joe."
The question is, and I'll let Roger ask this, his wonderful wife actually does that, but it says, does Roger develop his own apps, or does he outsource that portion? Share how you guys team up there, Roger, you and me.
Actually, when I got involved with this business, me and my wife said we'll do it together. I'm not very good on the computer and stuff like that.
I think we lost him again. But just to answer your question, are you there, Raj? We've lost him. He's having some connection problems this evening. But I can tell you what his story was going to be. He and his wife teamed up, and she's the computer guru at the house, basically, and she does everything for him. I'll tell you a quick story. They went to a forum in Las Vegas where there were all of these booths set up, and she was literally upstairs. He would go down and talk to the people, get their business cards, and would take them up to her, and she was up in a hotel room literally building the apps as he was down talking to people. And he would go up, and she would let him know the apps were ready, and he would go back down and demonstrate the apps at the convention. David Olson asked, are there any types of businesses that you have better luck selling to? You there? I hear you, Roger.
I'm back.
Okay. The question is, are there any types of businesses that you have better luck selling to?
What you do is you find what you like best. If you like going into restaurants, every type of business is really good. Hair salons are real good for me. So I go get 4 or 5 hair salons on my phone. When I go into a hair salon, I can relate to that particular business. So pick what you feel you like to go into. Some people don't want to go into maybe, let's say, gift shops, but they like going into maybe stores that maybe, let's say, restaurants. You like restaurants, and that's it. So to really answer that question, whatever you feel comfortable you want to go into. So there's really no particular type to go in. Remember this: everybody is a client, potential. They just don't know what you have until you come into the door and say, "Hey, let me show you this. Have you seen this?"
Okay. And David, thank you for that question. Who's next up here? Thank you, Dave. Anybody else have a question here while we got Raj on? We talked about niche marketing, I think, last week, and if you know something well, for example, I like hitting contractors because I are one, and I can talk to a contractor, I can talk the same lingo. Any further questions? This is a parking. I am new. Does this business allow you to set up other agents up under you to build a team below? We do have what we have a lot of people doing, Lavetta. Is it Lavita or Lavetta? I just hope I'm saying one of them right. We have them putting sales teams together, and I'd be more than happy to talk to you with that. And I appreciate you coming on. We've just. Do you suggest staying high end, not to value the? Do you suggest staying high end, not to value the not to devalue the product? I think you're all over the place, aren't you, Roger? I mean, it's kind of like you said a while ago. A client's a client. You never know who the client's going to be. I think I lost him again. You there,
I
Roger?
ran into a gentleman who, yes, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
I went into one account that I wrote up yesterday or on Monday. The guy could hardly speak any English, but he had the idea and wanted a QR code, and I wrote him up. And some people would not go into that place because it was so small. So just go out there and talk to everybody, because you never know who's going to say yes.
And just to piggyback, I was speaking to one of our resellers yesterday, and I believe he's in, I want to say, New York. He doesn't sell an app less than $600. Less than $600. And the market is different everywhere. I mean, every area is different. And once you find that price point, and I'll speak for Roger on this. I know when he first started, he worked all over the place on his price points until he found that magic price. And Roger, you get a lot of annuals, don't you, where they don't even pay the monthly fee; they're paying you up front for the whole year. Is that correct?
What I'll do is I'll normally save them 30%. I said, oh, by the way, what I have is really a good price. Now, if you really want to save additional money, I can save you 30% if you pay up front on the annual. I got one yesterday, and I got 2 of them last week. So I'm having probably right now, I'm having probably 50% of my clients are paying me for the whole year.
And that's awesome. That's awesome. Levita's asking, do you sometimes just sell a QR code separate from the whole piece?
Yeah, we can do that. I did it a couple of times, but once they understand the QR code and you actually show them a mobile app, really you're doing a better thing selling them the whole package together. Yeah, I've done that once or twice, and I charged a little money for it. But that really is not an issue, because once you show them the QR code and you really tell them that anybody can get a QR code, but not everybody has our mobile app, and that's what makes a difference. I tie them in together as one. So yeah, you can go get a QR code anywhere, but if you don't have the right platform, it's really not going to work for you. I will give you the QR code. I will give you the mobile app. I will make sure your mobile app is in good standings at all times, and you run your business. They love it.
There you go. Okay, I'm going to take one more question here. It's 9 o'clock, and I don't want to keep it too long. I know most of you were on last night, and I appreciate that very much. One more question, and we're going to call it an evening here. Anybody? Going once? Going twice? Sold to the high. I knew one would pop in there. I don't know about last night's call. Is there a list I should be on? I sent out an email yesterday about 4 o'clock. I think I sent out 3 or 4 emails we had a special webinar on the special webinar that we're going to be having this month on the 9th and 10th. If you're not getting emails, if you will go into the control panel and send your correct email address, I think what happens a lot of times is when people sign up, they sign up with an email that they don't read. I know we've got several people that'll call and say, I never get an email from you guys, and then I look in there and they're set up on some autoresponder that says, thank you, I got your email, I'll contact you. I'll be honest with you, if I'm running a business, I don't want an autoresponder answering my emails. I want to answer my emails. But Dave, if you'll just go into the control panel and send a ticket in with your email address that you need your email going to, they will be able to put it in the system. Someone else asked that question earlier, because I want to make sure you guys get those emails, because I send them out quite often.
Hey, Kerry, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
I want to go back to that QR code that I just talked about.
Okay.
I walked into a limo business today, and he already had a QR code on his business card. And the first thing I said, oh, my God, I'm so proud of you. You've done really good. You get it, don't you? And he goes, yeah, I really want this. And I said, let me do this. Let me take your QR code and do it and tie it to something like this. And then I gave him my phone with the mobile app. The guy went crazy. So when I find people that already have a QR code, it really is a lot easier to sell the program, because they already get the QR code. Now you're coming to them. You said, you know what? You got something good. Now I'm going to take it and I'm going to make it better.
There you go. All right, guys. Lavetta, if you would email me, because it's easier for you to email me for me to email you back. Email me at Kerry, Kerry, at instantappwizard.com, and then we can start our conversations back and forth. That way I can be at that. How do you handle a client that says we have a website?
What's the question?
What that shows TV, I get that a lot. How do you handle a client that says they have a website?
Well, I say this to them because I have that come up a lot. A guy said to me last week, well, I already got a website. Why do I need a mobile app? I said, well, if you actually look at, let me ask you a question. I'll say, what do you do with your mobile phone? He goes, I do everything. I said, you surf the web, you do everything, right? And he goes, yeah. What do you think your customers are doing? They're not going to go to your main website to see anything. So you got to be mobile ready so they can actually find you, and that really does work.
And a good thing to do with that, and I actually market this way. This is one of my marketing techniques. When I know I'm going out to see someone, I will do and I'll pull one up here. Give me 2 seconds. I just want you to see this. I'm trying to think what I did it on. Let me bring this up. I'm creating some videos that we're putting together for a project. So, but anyway, I'll show you exactly how I do this. This might help you. I will get the emulators out, and I put them side by side. And on the top here, you can see it says, which website do you think your mobile users would prefer to use? The desktop version or the mobile version?
That's very good.
And I take those with me. And that way I show them those. Yeah, that's the great thing to do. I've already got a website question. That's a pretty easy kill. You know, just come around. Is your mobile site is your website mobile ready? Because your customers cannot read. And I just got the 2012-2013 data that I'm going to be putting out here very soon on the statistics. I sent out a video just the other day that I attached to one of the emails from Google. Google just came out with all their new statistical data, and we will probably go over that as part of the training next week. Anybody else? Okay, guys, we're going to call it a night then. It's an absolute pleasure. I want to thank Roger. Roger, thank you so much for taking time
You're
to
welcome.
come on tonight. What about the webinar's data? Will it be uploaded? What are you talking? I'm not sure what you're asking, Joseph. Thank you, Tom. Did you make some changes, Joe? Joe, shoot me an email. Kerry@instantAppWizard.com. All right, buddy. All right, folks, it's been a blessing. Everyone have a great night. Roger, I can't thank you enough for coming on board, buddy, and
Thank
being a
you.
part of this.
I'm glad to be here.
And everybody have a great evening. You can download. Don't forget the